Dear colleagues, thank you for the opportunity to present the Cooperative Storage Library Switzerland. My name is D.Tschirren. I'm Deputy Director of the Central University Library of Lucerne, and I was involved in this project during the last 12 years. I will show you now a presentation of our project. You can see, I hope, my desktop. To start with, I would like to give you a brief outline of the project and the partners involved, followed by the history of the building process, the day-to-day operation of the CSLS, the Cooperative High Bay Storage. To answer these questions, we have to consider three basic cost-driving factors. First, land prices are very high in Switzerland all over the country. We made an evaluation of the land needs of different types of storage with the result that an ASRS, this type, needs only 1/3 of the surface of fixed shelving. So 1 million item fits into a fixed shelving building with 1,800 square meters, and an ASRS needs only 1/3, which is a very important cost factor for us. Second, the salaries are high as well, so we needed storage that is very labor saving with a very high degree of automation. And third, the safety regulations in the workplace are quite rigid, which means, for example, that order pickers of the Harvard type, like this one here, can only be operated by skilled workers that are much more expensive than students. A thorough evaluation of these shelvings led to the conclusion that the Lucerne collections of about 1.5 million could be stored either in fixed shelving or in an ASRS with equal costs. Calculations with about 3 million items led to the clear advantage of an SARS, a schoolbook example for the economies of scale. So to fill this building and to help us finance this, we went on the search of partners with the same need to find storage for the collections. And we found 5 institutions: the Zurich Central Library, Zurich University Library, Basel and St. Gall University Libraries, the Cantonal Library Zentralbibliothek Solothurn, and ourselves, Zentral- und Hochschulbibliothek Luzern. You can see here an impression of the finished building in spring. So you see that even the surrounding farmers planted their crops according to the colors of our building. The building consists of 2 separate parts. First, the working area where the books are prepared to be stored and where orders are processed. This part of the building, that part, the lower part of the building on the plan, measures 70 meters to 10 meters with a height of 20 meters on 5 floors. On the ground floor, all deliveries are in or outgoing processed. On the second floor, the books are cleaned and stored in plastic boxes in order to be sent to the storage area. The third floor is reserved for orders by our customers and the scanning of photocopying of document delivery orders. The fourth floor is empty at the moment and reserved for an additional working places if we should build further modules. On the 5th floor, there's a visitors platform to allow a view into the storage area. The second part of the building is the actual storage area, which measures 70 meters to 20 meters. It contains a 14-meter high bay storage for 110,000 plastic boxes, taking about 30 books each on average. This first module has a maximum capacity of about 3.1 million items. While the working area has normal climate regarding temperature, humidity, and oxygen, the storage module has an inert atmosphere with a maximum oxygen level of 13.7% to prevent any fire. We have 2 redundant compressors to produce nitrogen. So if one of these compressors goes defect, we can still introduce nitrogen to lower the oxygen content in the atmosphere, in the storage area. The storage has no active climatization. Temperature and humidity are controlled through the massive concrete walls and outside insulation and the books themselves. So this heating and ventilation area is only for the workplaces of our staff. During the first year of operations, we registered temperatures between 11 and 25 degrees Celsius, but with very slow increases and decreases, and a marvelously stable relative humidity of around 45%. Initially, just after the finished construction process, humidity was at over 80%, but that was reduced within a few days through the addition of nitrogen to lower the oxygen level. In the second curve, you see the second half of the year 2016, we added the outside temperatures, this red curve here. So you can see that the daily temperature changes, but that doesn't affect the inside temperature. The inside temperature rises and sinks very, very slowly over the year. I can show you now the building process of this building. The village of Büron lies on the banks of a small creek in an Ice Age alluvial valley with very unstable ground. So we therefore had to bring down over 250 piles of 25 meters each to form a stable foundation. 60 of these piles are equipped with heat changers to extract geothermal heat for the heating, respectively cooling of the working area. The walls consist of prefabricated 30 centimeter thick sandwich construction of concrete plates and steel reinforcements, which are filled with concrete on site, allowing a very quick construction process. The outside insulation is about 30 centimeters thick, protected by a corten steel facade. The self-supporting roof is covered by 20 centimeters of concrete and carries a photovoltaic installation that produces about a third of the electric energy needed. The inside concrete walls had to be painted in order to prevent the nitrogen to diffuse through the walls. The oxygen reduction system has, as I said, 2 redundant compressors for the inertization. The conveyor technique for the automatic storage and retrieval system is placed under the roof on top of the high base shelving, which saved us from having to double the number of the robots needed to fetch the bookcases. So we have just one robot that runs through a 70-meter long alley. As you see, we have robots with 2 loading devices. This allowed us to double stock the shelving. So the robot fetches the first case of books on the shelf, and then the second robot fetches the second case of books, which saved us a lot of space and made more place reserves for our storage. What services does the CSLS offer its customers, the libraries? It offers storage and archiving of printed or audiovisual material. It offers cleaning of books. Every book needs to be cleaned before it is stored. It offers packaging of unbound serials, so collections that are delivered in cardboard boxes not suitable for long-time archiving can be unpacked and bound in acid-free cardboard sheets and plastic ribbon. A very cost-saving alternative to binding books in the traditional bookbinding technique. The CSLS offers a document delivery service, either by courier or by post. So customers can order physical items to send home or to send to their home library. It offers document delivery. Articles are delivered according to Swiss copyright law to customers, either by download of scans or by posting of paper photocopies. And it offers a small reading room for research in its collection, especially in the collective collection of journals which are not lent out to the customer. The whole building cost 30 million Swiss francs, including all technical installation and the working area. A further storage module will cost only about 14 million francs, which means that the average storage cost per item will sink significantly with each module we will build in the future. Real estate costs are charged according to the reserve space. This is this part of the chart, which form about 3/3 of all costs are real estate costs. Lucerne, for example, has reserved ample space for growth. We pay not only for our actual collection of 1 million items, but for the calculated growth in the next 8 years, which means about 1.5 million items in total. We calculated returning costs for processes. Each service was estimated according to industrial standard times for each step involved. After the first 2 years, billing was based on the actual number of services effected for each library, and all services are now being recalculated according to the real-time measurements for each step. Apart from services and space costs, each partner pays a proportional share of the working area and the overhead costs for the operation of the CSLS. This proportional share will, of course, sync with each new partner that joins our cooperation. The collection can either be in the individual possession of a certain library and be used according to its own rules and regulations. Normally, physical items out of this collection can be lent out. Serials can change into the collective possession of all partners in order to create a bigger collection and to deduplicate multiple items. This allows savings of valuable storage place to a significant degree. We estimated that about 300,000 volumes or 11 shelving kilometers could be saved with deduplication. Items in this collective collection are treated as archival material and cannot be lent out, but they may be copied or studied in the reading room in the CSLS itself. After 5 years, we can make a calculation of the costs. Since 2016, the real estate costs could be reduced for about 1/4 because of sinking interest rates. This is about 24% in the last 6 years. Because of the shrinking percentage of empty space, the gray part of the curve, and sinking interest rates, the costs per items are decreasing as well. What are our plans for the future? In the immediate future, we realized already a drive-in library after the Corona lockdown. So customers can drive through to the delivery area, pick up their books and drive away to prevent contacts with the staff during the Corona pandemic. We plan cooperation with the Luzerni University of Applied Sciences to study the possibility of optical optimization of the storage in order to save storage space and costs, and to help customers to find a journal article. The staff will browse journals and stream this process live, and the customer can then order an article he found during this browsing process. And the most important project is the planning of a second or even a third module. After 5 years of operation, the CSLS stores close to 2.9 million items. This means that the total capacity of 3.1 million items will soon be reached, and that we need new partners to have a second module built in the next few years. We even think about a third module for special needs, for example, for uncatalogued manuscript, for audiovisual materials, or temporary storage during renovation projects. How would we realize this addition? The CSLS possesses land reserves that allow the building of another 3 storage modules with a total capacity of 14 million items. This means about the whole print collections the actual partners possess now, or on the other hand, enough storage space for another 2 or 3 big partners in the future. So I'm quite optimistic that soon the building cranes might rise again and build another module of the CSLS. So thank you for your attention. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to contact us. Either myself, D.Tschirren, or Mike Markey, the CEO of the Cooperative Storage Library Switzerland. Thank you and have a nice day.
Hello, Luzerni.
Hello.
Hello, Danny. Thank you for your presentation. You are making us jealous. I think a lot of libraries are dreaming about such a storage complex you have, only for 5 of you. But my question is mostly, you have 5 big libraries, mostly research and uni libraries. They all facing, I think, the same thing. They saw the very rapid growth of digital information use and the use of traditional paper items is not so big. How much research or uni libraries are discharging books from the typical traditional collections, and how much they are still deciding to remove them to the storage complex, or they just decide to weed something, to throw something away absolutely as unneeded material. You have plans to build new boxes, so it seems that the libraries who have acquired books are deciding that they have to be kept in physical form.
Well, to start with, we have loose cooperation between most university libraries in Switzerland to share our print collections, but nearly all boards or university steering boards decline to commit themselves to keep their print collections forever, for the future, because that would mean to reserve finances for storage for the longer duration. So we have now an agreement between the partners of CSLS to keep our collective collection of printed journals and let the partners deduplicate their double items, because one archival collection of journals is in the CSLS. But the individual holdings, every library is free to read their holdings of monographs or individual collections and throw them away. So, of course, there is a there is a danger that libraries that are not involved in the CSLS throw away their duplicates because they know there's an archival exemplar in CSLS.
And we hope more of our Estonian colleagues will have chance to see you. I know some of them have been visiting you. So maybe even National Library who will start their restoration works now will learn something from your successful project. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.